Hey, creative genius, I have terrible news for you. You do need systems. We're going to talk about it. Hello, my name is Cera. I'm a certified life and business coach. I help spiritual practitioners, creatives, and heart-centered service providers build the lives and businesses of their dreams by helping you master both the outer game and the inner game of building a thriving, successful, intuitive, creative business. The outer game, your systems, your strategies, the day-to-day implementation, your inner game, your emotions, your nervous system, your mindset, your spirituality. These two things have to be brought together into balance within you for you to build the life and the career, the lifestyle that you are trying to gain, to achieve through entrepreneurship. That's what we're here to do. That's the work that we're doing here on this YouTube channel. So happy that you're here. If you're new, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. I want to chat with you. I want to get to know you. I want to hear from you if you're here watching this video. If you're returning, all the same things apply. Glad you're back. Happy you're here. All right, so little creative genius, little intuitive, flowy baby. We need systems. I know, it sucks. It's very hard. If you are like me, you were very system resistant for a majority of your life. You don't want to. It doesn't sound fun. It stifles your creative vibe. You just want to flow. You just want to do all of the things that you want to do. You want to move off of inspiration. You want to be completely in your oozy feminine. You want to just go where the wind takes you. You want a wild, free spirit your way through everything. I hear you and I get it. It does feel so, so nice. But also, it doesn't work so good for business, certainly. But it also doesn't actually work so good for your creativity. And that is a really hard pill to swallow because many of us have a relationship with structure and with systems that just feels like, ugh, I don't want to. I don't like to think about it. And I have a lot of theories about why this is, but probably the most simple, straightforward one is that a lot of the structure and systems that we had to participate in growing up did not work for us, right? So school, the systems and structures imposed upon us by school, maybe those didn't work for us very well. The systems and structures imposed upon us at our jobs maybe don't work for us that well. And so we have this feeling that all systems and structures are just not for us because we feel our best when we don't have those things. That makes a lot of sense. I'm also neurodivergent, so if you're any flavor of neurospicy, especially if you have ADHD, the idea of systems and structures, not so appealing. On one hand, we crave them desperately and we feel like, oh man, if I could just get my systems and structures together, it would be over for you hoes. On the other hand, everything about systems and structures is way outside of our comfort zone, way out of our wheelhouse. We don't know how to put systems and structures together, and then we don't like to stick to them. And then we forget that we were building a system, and instead we just start going through our closet. And then when we're going through our closet, we find a bunch of stuff from when we were little kids, and then we have to take pictures of all of it and send it to our mom. And then there's just a big pile of stuff on the floor. Anyone else? Okay, maybe that was too personal. We need systems and structures. A good system, a system that works for you, is like rocket fuel to your creativity. It actually makes you more able to be creative. It makes you more able to spend more of your time in flow, in ease, doing the actual creative work that you want to do if you have a really good system set up around the work. When we don't have systems and structures, we leak a lot of time and energy trying to figure out what to do. We leak a lot of time and energy trying to get set up, trying to transition between tasks, trying to figure out how to move from one thing to the next. It just does not give us the results that we're looking for. When we have systems and structures in place, we free up our brain space and our time because we're doing certain things the same way every single time. We don't have to think about them as much. We don't have to make nearly as many decisions, which leaves more of our brain space freed up for creative dreaming, for ideating, for imagining, for thinking about things that are really interesting and juicy for us. So this can look like, I'm going to give an example of maybe you are a painter Having a system set up where all of your paints and your materials and your brushes and your canvases and your gesso and your mounting, everything is set up in the same way, and everything goes back into that place every single time you use it, and that's your system, allows you to come right into your workspace and get to work without having to look around for everything, find everything, go gather stuff from all over the house and bring it all into one space. We want you to have a system set up where it's smooth and easy for you to jump right into the creative part. So it might take a little bit of time and effort for you to create a system that really works for you. It might take a little bit of trial and error. It might take building a system and realizing that system doesn't work and adjusting it until you find the right one for you. But once you do, you'll know you found the right one for you, because it makes getting started so much smoother and so much easier. As a business owner, having a system for how your clients get onboarded when they sign up, and it's the same every single time it happens, even better if much of it can be automated. That means that every single time a client signs on, you don't have to go, oh my gosh, how do I do this? What do I do? What do I send them? Where do I go? How do I make this happen? You don't have to do any of that. It's so much smoother and easier when you just have the things that you need all ready to go, and it happens without you needing to think about it. Boom, boom, boom. With your money, it might be really stressful and overwhelming for you to deal with, say, going through all of your business expenses for the year and coming up with your income and expense report so that you can do your taxes, because you haven't been looking at it all year and you've let it get really messy, and it takes hours and hours and hours to go through all of it at the end of the year and get it together. But what if you had one really simple spreadsheet that you just plug in the money you spend and the money that comes in every day, that monthly and quarterly tabulates out all of your income and expenses for you, so when it's time to do your taxes, you just hand the spreadsheet over to your bookkeeper, and they can just do your taxes because it's already done, because you had a system where you updated it at the end of every day before you close your laptop, or every week on Sunday. You did it for the week, so it took 20 minutes a week instead of hours and hours once a year that you dread and put off. A simple system that makes this task that takes a long time so much easier, so much smoother, freeing up a bunch of your time, your energy, and your brain for the creative tasks that you would rather be spending your time on. I hope I'm making a little bit of a case for why I've come to believe that systems and structure are very, very sexy as a creative. I used to be so resistant to them, and now I'm obsessed with them, and I want to optimize them. I want systems and structure for everything in my life and in my business, especially the things that I find hard and that are not that fun for me, because having a good system and structure in place minimizes how much time I have to spend engaging with those things and thinking about them, and frees me up to spend more of my time, my effort, my energy, and my creativity on the things that I love being involved in. Is it landing? Is it starting to feel good? Are we kind of coming around? Another great way to think of systems and structures, especially if you are someone who is resistant to them, is to think of them as rituals. Calling something a ritual versus a system, maybe it's a little bit semantic, but it does something different in my brain, because I love a ritual. I am a little witchy, romantic girly. And so if something is a ritual, it feels really special, right? If the way that I'm making my coffee is a potion, it feels really special. If the way that I get ready for bed is a getting ready for bed ritual, that feels immediately elevated as a more important thing. And Twyla Tharp, in her book, The Creative Habit, I think it's somewhere back here. If you don't have it, go grab it. Twyla Tharp, The Creative Habit. I was going to show you the cover, but I don't want to go search for it. In The Creative Habit, Twyla Tharp talks about her relationship with rituals and the importance of ritual. And she shares that she's been getting up and going to the exact same gym with the exact same trainer, doing the exact same workout every single day at 5 o'clock in the morning for like 30 years. And her ritual is that she gets up, she puts on her workout clothes and her sneakers, she goes outside, she hails a taxi in New York, and she goes to her gym. And she says the ritual isn't the getting dressed, it's not the shoes, it's not the workout, it's the hailing the taxi. Hailing the taxi at 5:15 is my ritual. And as long as I do this ritual where I go outside and I hail the taxi in this way, everything else in my day is going to go the way that I want it to go. Everything else is now a foregone conclusion. I don't have to think about whether or not I'm going to go to the gym and what shoes I'm going to wear and whether or not I'm going to take a taxi or get on the train or I'm going to walk. I don't have to think about what workout I'm going to do. I just do the thing. And that frees up my brain to be thinking the entire time, right? My body's doing the thing on autopilot and my brain gets to think about all of the interesting things that I want to think about, the dreams I had last night, the things that I want to do today that I'm excited about, the new creative vision that I'm percolating. I don't have to waste any of my brain juice on making all of these decisions about these little things that don't matter that much. I want to free my brain up to spend more time thinking about the things that matter, and my rituals give me the space to do so. And so I love that, and I've adopted that in my life, and I have a lot of things that I think of as my rituals, right? My opening of the day work ritual, my closing of the day work ritual, my Sunday reset of my home as a ritual, the meal prepping that I do as a ritual. It elevates things to feeling special and to feeling sacred. It can also open the path to making them more fun, more enjoyable, more present, more magical, and it still does the thing a good system and structure does, which is it smooths things out. It makes things so much faster, so much easier for me to do these things in the same way every single time. Freeing up more of my brain for creativity, for joy, for fun is the payoff, the benefit that taking the time to work through setting up a system that works for me, that's what that gives me. As I'm talking here, I'm looking at a system that I have set up in my life right now, and it is this little hanging file thing that you can see right here. As somebody with ADHD, I have been through so many different systems around paper. Why did no one tell me that when I was a grown-up there was going to be so much paper? What are you supposed to do with all of it? People are mailing me more paper all the time, and a lot of it we have to keep, and then is a paper thing. So the way that I avoid having piles everywhere at this point, something I've learned and accepted about myself, is that if it is away, I can't see it. So for a while I tried file boxes because I thought they were so cute, and I would see these like file boxes on like Pottery Barn, or I'd see pictures of the way people decorated their office, and there would be these beautiful black like leather, like it's a file box and it's labeled on the front and it has a top and then the files hang inside. I got file boxes. And then I just lost every piece of paper that I had ever seen because I put the lid on the box and then I put clothes on top of the paper box lid, and then I just never saw the box again. Out of sight, out of mind, right? As an ADHD girly, hiding my papers does not work for me. And so what I have learned about myself and come to accept is that if it is something I'm actively working on that I cannot lose, I have to be able to see it. So having a hanging file folder that's color coded where the really important things, you can't see, but it's two different levels of things. If I don't want to lose something, I put it upright in the file and not sideways so I can see the top so I know what it is. That is the only thing that helps me remember that there's stuff in there I need to look at. There's stuff in there I need to do. It took me a lot of trial and error to find this system that finally worked for me. And that is really important for creatives when it comes to systems, because sometimes if the system doesn't work right off the bat, we just scrap it and go, okay, systems don't work for me. Like I'm back to doing it all free form and letting it be a mess. The other thing I think it's important for me to acknowledge as someone with ADHD is that everything in my life that doesn't have a system or a structure is kind of a mess. If I don't have a way that I do it that's just locked in, that I know works for me, I won't do it, or I won't do it consistently. And so if you're trying to do something like start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, get more consistent in posting on social media, but you don't have a system and a structure for how you do those things, how's it working? Are you consistent? Is it random? Does it take a ton of time? Is it really hard for you to get into the flow of creation? When you have a great system set up that really works for you, all of that guesswork and difficulty around starting is alleviated because you just move through the system. And so it does take some trial and error and some willingness to try a system out. Maybe we do some research online, we find a system for like, how do I deal with paper? So I've tried boxes, I've tried file drawers, I've tried inboxes, I've tried binders. And yeah, it might mean we spend a little bit of money, we go set something up, we try it for a little while, we live with it for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and we go, not it. That did not work for me. That's not the one. Let me try another one. Not just giving up the first time we try a system that doesn't work. Take that time to do that trial and error. Keep tweaking the system until you find the system that actually feels like, oh, now this is something I don't have to think about anymore. It just makes my life easier. It just works. That's how you know it's the system for you. So that is my message for you today. My sweet creatives, in elemental entrepreneurship terms, that's one of the ways that I teach business. It's my air dominant people, sometimes my fire dominant people, my water and spirit dominant people out there in the flow, want to just do things in this floaty creative way that feels so good. We stay away from the earth stuff. The earth magic, the groundwork, the frameworks, the repeatable ways of doing things actually put so much structure and so much stability underneath you that your creativity really can skyrocket. It gives you a firm foundation to fly from. So I hope that this made a good case for you about a new way to think about systems and structures if you've been avoiding them, or if you tend to avoid them in your art, in your life, in your business. I would love to know your thoughts about this. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Where are the areas that you do have systems that work really well? And what are the areas where you don't have systems and you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of a mess because there's no system behind it. That's an area I need to put some focus into. I'd love to hear that from you as well. As always, if this is something that you need help with, this is something I would love to help you with in coaching. And we can do that together one-on-one in a lot of different ways. If you're interested in working with me, the best thing I think you can do is book a free 20-minute business audit. I'm going to leave a link for that in the show notes. And that would be a good way for us to get a feel for each other. It's absolutely free. There's no obligation. You're going to get a ton of value out of it. And it's a way for us to get a little sample of what it's like to work together. And if that is valuable for you, and from there you want us to work together further, we can discuss that after your 20-minute business audit is complete. So I'll leave a link for that in the show notes. Okay, love you. Bye.